So
I heard a good quote. Or the question, when's the best time to buy an apartment property in Los Angeles?
mm,
40 years ago.
yeah, I was gonna say,
What's the best time to buy an investment property, apartment property in Bakersfield?
yeah,
Now.
anytime.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, still now, and people 20 years from now are going to say, "I wish I got in when it was 20
yeah,
years ago."
we're kind of the new LA here, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, and we still got all the development. We've got hundreds of units being built in multiple different directions, which is such a good sign as at, buyers, investment buyers looking in Bakersfield. It's such a good sign to see new development wanting to come into Bakersfield.
Oh, and here's the interesting thing. When you look at all that new development, it's all on the high end.
Yeah,
These developers, they're having to raise they're trying to go after the high end of market rent because of the cost of construction. So what you've got is this B and C minus areas of town are just desperate for inventory
yeah,
on the rental market.
yeah. And then that new Park West development, they just put in hundreds of new units, and they're like fully stocked, and they have like over $2,000 a month rent. Like it's absolutely insane.
They're renting
And
those things
they're
out.
renting them all out.
Wow.
Like there's that much demand for an A type neighborhood apartments. It's absolutely crazy. So it's just like as fast as they can build them, people are renting them, people are buying them. It's just gone. Any real estate at all that hits Bakersfield, it's just gone.
So this is like probably the time for an investor to really pay attention these next few months, 6 to 12 to 18 months, because
Yeah.
a lot of the people are just looking at what the media is saying and say, oh, real estate's going to tank.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stepping away from it, which creates less demand. So, the opportunities can be more plentiful for
Yeah.
the smart investor.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. The experienced investor is going to see what's happening here. They're going to see the higher interest rate. They're going to buy at a good number that still makes sense to cash flow and to get them through. And a lot of the inexperienced buyers that were just caught up in the frenzy of the last few years, just buying anything that they could, they're going to start to back off now because they're going to realize, hey, these numbers don't work. This isn't as good as what I could get before, and they're going to back off. So I think it's really a good time for experienced investors. Know what's a good property, know what's a good area, just really find out what's a good investment and hold it. And you can make anything work, even at 5 or 6% interest rates. If people were making it work at 18% interest rates,
I know, that's
you
crazy.
can make it work at 5, 6, 7% interest rates. We're probably going to see a little bit of a cool down in rates over the next year or so anyway. But even if we don't, 6, 7%, you just have to price it right and make sure that the numbers work.
I will bet that inflation starts to peak in these next couple CPI reports.
Yeah.
And if that happens, then the Fed is not going to have to push up rates so much anymore. So
yeah,
I'm speculating, of course.
Yeah, it seems to be the consensus though, because a lot of the experts, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, like a lot of those big ones, seems to be the consensus is that interest rates are going to start to settle around the 5%.
Yeah.
For the average over the next,
Yeah, if you look at commodity
18 months.
prices, copper, metal, plastic, all the prices of those commodities down 30, 40, 50% from the peak from 4 to 6 to 8 months ago. So that's going to all, CPI is a lagging indicator.
Yeah.
So we're going to see, I feel, we're definitely going to see cost of stuff kind of coming down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it still makes a great, place for investing. There's so many people that put buying a home on pause for a little bit because of the higher interest rates too. And that's still a strong market. We're still seeing a really strong market even on the residential side. But they still have to live somewhere. And there's a lot of people speculating, waiting for a market crash that I don't think is ever going to happen. I don't think we're going to see property values dip.
Maybe a 5% kind of, settling.
Yeah, but I think more so we're going to see, slower growth, slower appreciation than we're going to actually see any depreciation. But even if we do, there's a lot of residential buyers waiting for a 15, 20% crash.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to hold on to rentals for a while. And so I just see that the rental demand is going to be really high still for a really long time. So.
Yeah, as people that are renting want to buy, interest rates are higher, they can't buy. They're going to have to hold off until rates come down. So they're staying a renter more, which helps the rental market.
Yeah, and then you've got a whole other generation even behind them that's going to have to live somewhere, and they're starting to get up because all the millennials are looking to buy homes right now, and so they're getting into a lot of homes. I think it's like 80, it's over 80% of first-time home buyers are millennials right now, and like 43% or something like that of millennials are just all the buyers. They make up 43% of all the buyers. And so we're starting to see that, but then we're also starting to see the next generation back that, because that's 1996 is as young as that goes. That next generation following right behind the millennials, they're starting to hit the home buying market now too. So now you're gonna we didn't fully satisfy the millennial, all the millennials buying their homes. So we still have leftover demand from that, and now we're gonna have Generation Z, whatever it is, coming right behind them, and they're not gonna have anywhere to go either. So that's going to be, and they're buying homes at a later and later pace. So we're seeing,
Right. Yeah.
all those people are going to need to rent. So
interesting.
yeah.
All right.
So
Cool.
the market looks really, really strong for the next 6, 12, 18 months. And even for the
I
next
think
few
so.
years here in Bakersfield, there's just a lot of signs, businesses coming into town, a lot of new development, a lot of activity here in Bakersfield, setting up for a really strong market for the next several years.
Yeah.
So the market looks good. If you're thinking about buying or selling any multifamily real estate, please do let us know. We'd love to talk to you, and reach out to us at Jordan Apartment Guys.
Thanks. Good to talk to you.